What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to my super messy shed. I just want to thank y'all for showing up for the first video of a new channel starting. First channel I'm starting. I was going to wait to post this video and have the first video be something about maybe organizing this messy shed, or setting up my greenhouse, or setting up my forge, or something like that. But the good Lord above went ahead and put something on my plate, and I just wanted to talk to y'all about it. So, caveats, all of the caveats. First things first. I am no one important. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a social scientist, I'm not XYZ. All of the stuff I'm about to share with you is my opinion, and only my opinion. I'm nobody special. I'm just a redneck with opinions. Secondly, if any of the things, and some things will, most likely, offend somebody. If whatever it is that I say offends you, and you don't have a reason, or your reason is, well, somebody said on the news that I should be offended if somebody said whatever it is that I say, you might want to do some self-reflection. Think about why you're upset. Think about what it is that upsets you. If it's an actual reason, I'm upset because you said X because of whatever, we can discuss it. But really, your opinion doesn't affect me. All I'm doing is sharing my opinion on what's going on. Lastly, it's just a video, guys. Honestly, it's not worth getting super butthurt, or upset about it. It's just a video. So, with all of that being said, I'm sure somebody's still going to be upset, if you watch it. If anybody watches it and they comment negatively, it happens. It happens. Can't please everybody. That's fine. So, today's topic, and keep in mind one of the first things I said, my opinion. Today's topic is men. And this is something that the good Lord put on me throughout the day today while I was at work. So, speaking of work, which is why I'm all dirty. Doing the work. This is not a video patronizing men for being XYZ. This is not a Gillette ad. Come on, Gillette, really? This is none of those things. This is me sharing my opinion on what's going on in the world. This is going to be in 3 parts. First part, we have, as men, a problem with anxiety and depression. Part 2, B, whatever. Part 2 is going to be, sorry, probably the coronavirus. Part 2 is going to be interacting with the opposite sex, interacting with females. And part 3 is how to solve the anxiety and depression of being a male in today's society. So, without further ado, here we go. Men, as a whole, American men. Not sure about the rest of the world because I only live here in America. American men have been under attack for being men for pretty much as long as I can remember. Because when I was a kid, when I was growing up, you would fight and you would scrap and you'd roll around in the yard and you'd get dirty, and this is what men do. But now people are upset about men being men, and they're attacking men for being men. So what happens, obviously, when you cannot be yourself without being attacked for being born a male? There is, and I've seen, large amounts of anxiety and depression. Now, why is this? Well, first things first, we don't really have real men anymore. Some of us do, which is why I'm here having this conversation with you. We have dumb down our men, our youth coming up, to not be so violent, because violence is bad. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about men on men. I'm talking about scrapping and wrestling and stuff like that. That's the kind of violence I'm talking about. Right? So we're not really allowed to do that. We don't really have a lot of men to show us role models. And a lot of that comes from a place of, like I said, of just misappropriation, honestly, of misappropriation of blame. Well, it's all the men. Men are bad, and it's male's fault. And that's the world we're living in right now. When you don't have a way to feel okay as someone who's born a male, then you're going to be more depressed. And a lot of that has to do with where we live. A lot of people, more people than ever, live in the city than they do in the country. And when you're there, when you're in the city, you don't really have a purpose. Because a man's purpose has been, and always will be, to provide and protect. It's what we did when we were cavemen. It's what we did in the Middle Ages. It's what we've always done. We provide and we protect. Right? Wrong. Not anymore. Not in the city. What do you need it for in the city? Reproduction? Maybe you are one of the few people that has a single income family and he makes all the money, but then this video is not really about you. Because you have your income, you're useful, you're doing the things, you're providing for your family, so most likely you're going to be in a better headspace than somebody who is asking the question, why am I here? Why do I exist? Like you would be if you were not needed or not required. And a lot of that, I think, is because we're just unnecessary now. Because women have police to protect them in the cities. And they have the grocery stores. And we also have the women's rights movement bringing more and more women every year into the workforce. So we are really unnecessary in the city. And again, these are my opinions. From what I've seen. I've been in a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things. So that brings me to my second point. Right? We are upset because we don't really have a purpose from what I've seen. Our purpose used to be provide and protect, but we don't need that anymore because we live in a civilized society and men are no longer needed. And a lot of that causes problems. And I'm going to get to that in part 3 about how to cure that depression. And I can say that because I used to be that guy and be depressed and have no purpose and etc. We'll get to that in part 3. But my second point, second 2, this many, not 3. It's been a long week. I apologize. My second point is women. Interacting with women and finding the right mate. This is a problem. And this is a cyclical problem. Because we've forgotten how to find an appropriate mate. And the divorce rate is high. And that leads to less men in the home, which now leads to more men. Why am I here? I never had a role model. What's my purpose? What do I do? Right? Choosing a mate. And if you choose the right woman, if you find the right woman, and I'm not saying it's going to solve all your problems, because another person will never solve your problems. And I'll get to that in part 3. You have to solve your own problems, right? But if you find a good woman, it'll make all the little things that you do worth it. It'll make all the really crappy things, like for me, working 60, 70-hour weeks, hands busted up, etc. All that, it makes it worth it, because now I have purpose. My purpose is to provide for her and make her life better. For the sweat of my brow and the blood on my hands, I make her life better. And that gives me purpose. Right? But I don't need her to give me purpose, because I can do those things. We'll get into that in part 3. But finding the right woman makes all of that better. You can do it on your own, and I have for a long time, but it makes it better for sure. So finding a mate, and I mean that. I mean finding a partner, an actual person you're going to spend your life with. And this is important, because men are, not even men, the society is no longer about that. It is now about Tinder hookups and Netflix and chill, and we all know what we're doing in Netflix and chill. Come on. So, I don't know. These are just my thoughts in rant form. This will not be edited, so bear with me. But we're not looking for mates anymore. We're looking for sexual partners, from what I'm seeing. So this is going to lead to lots of problems down the road, because if you are looking for a mate specifically and only specifically for what they can do for you physically, you're going to have a bad time. And I'm not saying that to be patronizing, and I'm not saying that to be an ass. I'm saying that as someone who's been there and done that and lived that life. Well, if she can do X so good, you're going to have a bad time. Because what happens when that goes away? Now you have nothing, right? So, find a right girl. Find the proper girl. Excuse me. Lots of coffee. Find the right girl. Find a girl who has value. And more importantly, find a girl who values what you can bring to the relationship. And if she can't, if she's uninterested, and this holds true to even if you're in a relationship, and she doesn't value what you can bring to the relationship, that's going to do you no good. I've been there. So find somebody, like I found, that makes your life a little bit better. Right? And court them. For goodness sake, court them. Take them to dinner. Hey, beautiful, I like the way you look. I would like to take you to dinner sometime, and we can talk about whatever, right? Because life gets a lot harder if your back's against the wall and you got no one to turn to. Again, trust me, I've been there. Find somebody who's going to be a partner. Find somebody who's interested in you for what you can do and for who you are. Don't try to change yourself to find the right person. Trust me, I've been there. It only ends in heartache. Court her. Bring her flowers. Do what the penguins do. They find a shiny rock. They look the whole beach, find a shiny rock, and bring it to the woman, the female penguin that they are infatuated with. And she either takes it or she doesn't. But you put in the effort, and that's what is important. And there's a reason why that's important, because they will see that you put in the effort, right? They will see that you're trying really hard to be a gentleman. And if she doesn't value you being a gentleman, run. I'm not joking. Run away. If she doesn't value you trying to be respectful of her, then she needs to work on herself before she gets into a relationship. And again, see the caveats at the beginning of the video if that upsets you. I don't know what to tell you. These are my facts, right? Alright, we're getting a bit long here, so part 3. So cap up part 2, and then we'll go into part 3 real quick. Find yourself a woman. An actual woman. Not a girl who's just looking to hook up. Not a hoe. Or a harlot. Or a whatever. the term is nowadays. I don't know. Find a woman who cares that you try to be respectful of her. Because that speaks volumes, right? Find somebody who's going to be there for you when your back's against the wall. And if you are there, if you want a relationship, act like you want a relationship. And don't go around breaking hearts. I've done it. It only makes life harder when you grow up, like I've done, and try to find a mate. It only makes life harder because people like me, in the past, are out there breaking hearts. And they remember that. Women have longer memories than you do. Trust me, brother. Find a real woman. Anyways, part 3. Now, going back before all that, right? Kind of before you find the woman, but I needed to go in that order. Why are you depressed? Here's how to treat women. And now, here's how to cure your depression. Maybe not in the best order, but hey, it's a rant. It's unedited. It's straight off the top of my skull. It's been a long week. Part 3, how to be a dude. How to be a man. How to be... A lot of people are adults, right? You go to work and you do the things. You come home. That doesn't mean you're a man. Can you do the things, right? That's what I was saying before. And a lot of us are out here with no real purpose, like I said, and I've been there. And one of the best ways to do that is do manly things. And it doesn't have to be an expensive thing. Like, go out into the woods. Get a lighter. Go out into the woods and make a small campfire. Like, just take in nature, right? Because that's what men used to do. We're out in the wilderness. That's what we do, right? Take in nature. Learn a skill. Even if it's just changing brakes or changing the oil. Even if it's whatever. Find something that is masculine to do, right? And I was thinking about this today because the Father put it in my head. If you don't know how to change your brakes or change your oil, here's what you do. Around here, we have a record yard, and you pay $2, 2 of them, to get into the record yard, right? So you go to the record yard, you say, hey, I got a Honda Civic, whatever you have, right? You go to the record yard, you find something similar to your car, and you just go in, and you take a look at it, right? Maybe go get yourself some Harbor Freight tools, more on Harbor Freight later in a different video. But get yourself some Harbor Freight tools and start wrenching. Pull stuff apart. Break stuff. That's how we learn. Men were not designed to be in the city. We weren't. We never were. So go out and learn something. And I guarantee you, don't make excuses. And I guarantee you it will change who you are. It'll change your mindset. Because instead of being, I don't have a purpose, I'm no good, that I've seen and I've experienced, find a skill. Any skill. Right? Learn how to take brakes off. Learn how to put them back on. Learn how to build a fire. Learn how to do whatever it is you want to do. There's a cheap way to learn how to do that. You want to learn how to weld? Go get a cheap welder off of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or Let Go or whatever it is that you use. Go ahead, get a cheap welder. Just start welding stuff. Find some scrap steel. There are scrap yards everywhere. Find some scrap steel, weld it together. You want to learn how to fix cars. I already went over that. Whatever it is you want to do, don't make an excuse and go do it. And I guarantee you that will change your mindset. You will have a purpose. Even if you don't have anybody who views that purpose, you now have a purpose. You have a masculine thing that you do. Even if it's just going out in the woods and punching trees, with your bare hands and going... Whatever it is, find a masculine thing to do and go do it. And that will change your mindset. I guarantee you. We have to get back to being men. Because that's the only thing that's going to make you happy. Right? Because I've been there. I've been depressed. And you know what changed it for me? Was working on cars. And more on that in another video. Because do I have a car to fix? Right? That's what did it for me. Do something masculine. As long as it's not hurting somebody else, go do something masculine. And see if it doesn't change your mindset. That's it. Y'all, I will upload this as soon as I can. I gotta go take the lady out to date night or whatever it is that makes her happy, because that's why I work, to make her happy, right? Go do masculine things. Learn a skill. Get your hands dirty. Bust your knuckles. Learn something. Learn something masculine, even if it's just hitting something with a hammer, right? As long as it's not a person. Even if it's just driving nails. Whatever it is, learn a skill. Be masculine. And don't be ashamed of it. As long as you're not being a dick. You know, don't be a douche out there, you know, flaunting it and making everybody, you know, feel bad because of it. Don't do that. But don't be afraid to be masculine. And I think that will solve a lot of the problems. Alright, y'all, I gotta get off here. I will see you in the next video. I appreciate you if you liked it, or if you, you know, it's a long week. I appreciate it if you enjoyed it, and I appreciate it if you viewed it. Thank you for sticking around this long. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you in the future. Probably going to be putting the greenhouse together soon. Going to be fixing up this mess. Going to be putting my forge together. Fixing my broke truck. All of the things are coming. All of them. And also more rants. Probably one coming up on tools soon. Alright, y'all. It's been way too long. You don't want to hear my ugly mug yap anymore. So I'm going to go. But y'all have a good night. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy Friday.